Hey everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to get into the go-home show to Smackdown before WrestleMania 41, which actually, as the time I'm recording this, it starts in less than an hour from now, so I'm really excited to get into this with you guys. The show started off with the Seth Rollins promo. Now, I'm not going to get too much into this, but you can watch it on his YouTube channel. I believe it's on there, but one thing I did think was interesting was he actually name-dropped Dean Ambrose. Now, Derby never brings up people who aren't in the company anymore because he's literally the AEW World Champion right now. But this is something I just really liked about it because there's no Shield without Dean Ambrose, and there's no anything relating to the Shield or the Shield helping CM Punk and all that without Dean Ambrose. Like, they literally have to show Dean Ambrose in video packages because there's just no way to not show him, right? So I really like the fact that Derby allowed him to be able to name drop him because it at least shows that they aren't ignoring history this time around. I know they have a history of doing that in the past, of not mentioning anyone who left the company, but I'm really glad that they did this because, I don't know, I just loved everything about it. And then after that, we had the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, which it kind of sucks that it's no longer on WrestleMania, but I mean, I wasn't really too excited for this, so it is what it is. But as you can see from the picture, it ended off with Andrade and Carmelo Hayes, who have a lot of history together. And Carmelo Hayes surprisingly got the win, actually. I wasn't expecting that. I was kind of hoping Rey Fenix would win, but I get it. He's new, so it made sense. But yeah, Carmelo Hayes got the W. Um, Okay, yeah, and then we had the women's division. It says women's division chaos ahead of WrestleMania. It was between Io Sky, Bianca Belair, and Rhea Ripley. They were talking back and forth on the microphone, and then Naomi came out to confront Bianca Belair on SmackDown because that was the first time Bianca Belair showed up on SmackDown since everything went down between Bianca, Naomi, and Jade. And um, and Naomi was like talking to Bianca, and then Jade Cargill came out and was gonna whoop Naomi, but Bianca obviously got in the way a little bit of that. So that was interesting because they're still teasing a thing going on between them three while Bianca has the Women's World Championship match to focus on at WrestleMania. So Bianca Blair's got a lot on her mind, I'm sure. And then next we had the Tag Team Championships on the line between the Street Profits and the Motor City Machine Guns. This match was actually really good. And then sadly, it ended with DIY interfering and trying to steal the Tag Team Championships from the Street Profits. Um, Luckily, Nick Aldis announced that DIY would be in a match. The only problem is that it's going to be next week on SmackDown instead of WrestleMania, and the crowd booed that, including myself too. Not like I was in the crowd, but like nobody wants to see that match next week on SmackDown. It was supposed to happen at WrestleMania. Like, Nick Aldis really let us down with that because the SmackDown tag titles should be the ones on WrestleMania, not the Raw ones, okay? That just doesn't, that leaves a sour taste in my mouth, man. Like, come on. Randy Orton announced that he is going to be issuing an open challenge at WrestleMania. By the way, look at my one of my previous videos I did on the channel. I talked about who could Randy Orton's opponent at WrestleMania possibly be, so I definitely recommend checking that out if you hadn't already. And then we also got Zelina Vega versus Chelsea Green. This was a pretty good match. It was a rematch from last week where Chelsea Green got counted out. And then this time, Zelina Vega actually pinned Chelsea Green for the win. So I'm thinking Zelina Vega will probably get a future opportunity at the Women's United States Championship, and I'm really hoping she wins it. But we'll see. And then we had LA Knight versus Sikoa, which actually turned into a tag team match between LA Knight and Braun Strowman versus Sikoa and Jacob Fatu. Which I forget who even won this. It's kind of embarrassing. Okay, LA Knight and Braun Strowman won. That's right, because LA Knight BFT'd solo for the win, I believe, yeah. I completely forgot about that. Also, Timmy Stratton had an interview with Wade Barrett, and also, I didn't talk about this earlier, but Charlotte Flair also had an interview with Wade Barrett in the earlier night. And what was interesting about this is I feel like they weren't even talking in character, like in kayfabe, as a lot of people use that term. Like, they weren't, I just feel like they weren't talking like themselves, and they were talking about how awkward their promos have been for the last week or two, because that's what everybody's been talking about online. Like, it's so bad that it's good, because their promos have been really, I guess, cringe, to say a word. And it's kind of weird that they brought that up during this interview with Wade Barrett. Like, it got nasty and ugly, and that's not what they wanted it to do, but it's getting buzz. Even if it's getting buzz for the wrong reasons, it is spreading online. So I think a lot of people were really excited for this match, including myself. And it didn't really matter how they got there, but they got there. So I thought that was interesting. And then we had LWO versus American Made. I have a couple things to say on this one, especially knowing what I know now. So LWO got the win, I believe, right? Let me double check. Yes, they did. So LWO defeated American Made. It was technically Rey Mysterio, Dragon Lee, and Rey Fenix, even though Rey Fenix isn't a part of LWO, but it was basically LWO if you think about it, because it's all Mexican luchadors. But yeah, LWO got the win against American Made, against Chad Gable and the Creed brothers, who actually all fought in the Battle Royal earlier tonight, which was interesting, and then they had a backstage segment. But like I said, LWO won. But the sad thing was, I think it shows it here, it looks like Rey Mysterio got hurt in the match. Doctors had to help him out. So now we know that Rey Mysterio got replaced by Rey Fenix, and Rey Fenix is now going to be facing El Grande Americano tonight on WrestleMania. It is very sad that Rey Mysterio got injured, because I was really excited to see him versus El Grande Americano tonight. But sadly, there's nothing we can do to change it. It is what it is. I am happy that Rey Fenix is getting his WrestleMania debut, because it's nice to see both of the Lucha Bros getting their spotlight at WrestleMania. So even though it had to come at the tragedy of Rey Mysterio, it is what it is, sadly. There's nothing we can do. But, I mean, Rey Fenix versus El Grande Americano, that's going to be interesting. And then this is what you've all been waiting for. I'm sure you can skip to this part of the video right now. It's like 6 minutes and 40 seconds in. I might link it down in the comments. So, Cody Rhodes and John Cena face-to-face. Again, I don't really like to go to promos in depth, but they talked back and forth on the mic. Like I said, I recommend checking it out on Doty's YouTube channel because it's there. It might be edited a little bit, but most of it's there, I think. John Cena tried to go for an attitude adjustment in the end, but then Cody Rhodes hit him with a crossroads to end the night off and stood tall. So, yeah, that was interesting. I think that's it, guys. Overall grade, yeah. By the way, thank you, Bleacher Report, for letting their articles be used to the public. I've been using them for all my weekly show reviews, and they're a very reliable source, so I definitely recommend checking them out for all wrestling news when it comes to that, because they're pretty reliable. I know they mostly do wrestling reviews, but then I think there's also rumor articles too, so I would definitely recommend checking out Bleacher Report if you hadn't already. But yeah, guys, that's going to do it for a day. I'm getting ready to watch WrestleMania in like 30 minutes or so now as we speak, but I will probably record another video either later tonight or tomorrow, talking about NXT Stand Deliver and WrestleMania 41 Night 1 whenever it happens. I know we saw NXT Stand Deliver earlier. I'm going to do my recap on that, and then also Night 1 when it happens later tonight. But that's going to do it, guys. I love you all. Take care. Peace.